In this video, I'd like to focus on my lean-to shed and specifically the rafters that I created for it. This is the material that I started off with. Looks pretty beat up, looks pretty old. But underneath is still some beautiful wood. So this is what I use to rip these down with. This is just a Ryobi 18 volt. I set it at 4 inches and I cut off, whichever side was worse. And I wound up with boards that were 1.5 inches by 4 inches, which are fine for just a lean-to shed. This isn't house construction. And I've been up on the roof. It totally supports me. These are the tools I, of course, used for safety. But this palm sander is all that I used to knock off the top surface. And you can see the difference. Of course, this takes time. I didn't run these through a planer. For all of my fence wood, I used a planer, but I only needed, I think, 16 of these boards, and I didn't want to lose too much thickness of the material, so I used the sander. And it gave, it didn't give me a smooth finish. It gave me a fairly, rough finish, but it's perfect for rafters. And again, you can see how beautiful the wood is on the inside compared to what the sun does. Just sun and weather. Here's a close-up of the really rough grit that I used. I think that's 40 grit. And that respirator, especially when it was a dry, sunny day, that respirator was a have-to. And it's funny because now with COVID, we're all used to wearing them. At this point, I was still not used to it. This was right at the beginning of COVID, actually. So then I did figured out my pitch on the roof. And this is pretty shallow. I'm down here in Texas, and so we can get away with a shallower pitch on our roofs just for watershed. So after all of that, all the rafters came out great. I put cross braces, but this is what you can do with just materials that you're going to find around that people are throwing away. And that's the whole point of this, was trying to make this lean-to with absolutely no material costs. The only thing I ended up having to do actually was the roof, the metal roof I did purchase. But hopefully this helps. Have a great day.